Wales win the Battle of the Wooden Spoon against a disappointing and disappointed Italy in Rome. My name's Mark, let's talk rugby. Wales start this one on the front foot. So first of all, Nicolo Canone gets pinged for offside just outside his own 22. Williams opens the scoring from the tee, it's 3-0. Italy, they're making mistakes under pressure from a really hard blitz defence from Wales, find themselves, behind the gain line a lot, rushing their passes, and therefore making, knock-ons and stuff like that, and finding it hard to kind of, establish any kind of platform in the game. Wales then are on the attack. It looks like there's nothing on, but then Rhys Webb puts a little chip over the top into space. The ball kind of bounces awkwardly. There are two Italian defenders back, but the bounce of the ball beats both of them. Dyer comes along, he collects it, strolls in behind the post to score. That's converted, and we're 10-0. Already I'm thinking Italy, they need to respond before the game gets out of reach for them. Wales then get pinged for offside from a kick. Garbisi takes this one quickly to get more ground, so there's no kind of defender on the line there, so he can kick pretty much to his limit. Then they attack from the line out, but Bruno's pass to Padovani is poor, goes into touch, but Italy did create a lot of space out on the wing there. You can see they've got good movement. They're pulling that Welsh defence around now, and they're creating the space, but it's the execution is just not there for them to be able to actually finish the moves off. Wales then are crooked from the line out, so we have a scrum. Italy win a penalty at the scrum. They decide to go for the post. Tommaso Allen gets them on the board at 10-3. Italy then claiming up and under, and they try to attack from deep, but they knock on, and Faletau, he gets the ball. They get it out to Williams on the wing. Liam Williams, that is. He weaves his way through the defence. Looks like he's going to be tackled at any second now, but he's going by the defenders, kind of holding them off and just about getting through. And suddenly he's falling forward, but he's right at the line, loses footing, but goes over to score. That's the conversion's missed. We're at 15-3. Another kind of example of what I've talked about all Six Nations, that Italy, they're playing too much rugby in the wrong areas of the field, and as soon as they make a mistake, they're giving opportunities to the opposition to score. That's highlights the point there, I think. Wales then are pinged for not rolling away. Penalty to Italy. They go up the line with it. We have some good Italian play. Puts Allen through a gap. He kind of checks and goes back inside the Barney, and they lose a bit of momentum. Wales then, a couple of rucks later, managed to get over the ball through Liam Williams, and they win a penalty. I think if it had been Capuozzo there, probably would have backed himself to try to finish rather than looking for the support. It looked like Allen just felt he didn't have the pace to get there. And then Varney was kind of flat-footed when he got the pass too, so just lost complete momentum in the move. One thing as well about the Italians I found was that when they did make breaks, there wasn't enough support around the player that made the break to give them options to offload to. Most of the game was kind of like that, where there were almost always more defenders chasing back than there were Italians chasing to get into position to support, and maybe that's something that they need to work on. If this style of play is really going to work for them. Then we have Garbisi, then he sells a lovely dummy. He goes through a massive hole in midfield. There's some great carries from, gets him right up to the line. Canone, he goes close. Canone somehow manages to get back and scrag him just before he's going over the line. Canone offloads to Brex within touching distance of the line. but as he's trying to place it, he loses the ball forward. We have a TMO check on that, and it's no try. Line out, goal line dropout to Wales. But what a move from Italy! Like, you can see, kind of what they're trying to get in the game, and when it works, it's beautiful. But it's not working enough for them, I feel. And when it doesn't work, it's absolutely like crushing for them, because they're conceding points too many times. So, what I talked about before, get a kicking game, get into good territory into the opposition's half, then play the ball like that. If you lose the ball, they make a break up to halfway. So what? You rebuild, you start again. Now it is, you're losing the ball. They either win a penalty, a kickable penalty, or they score a try. So it's like, it's kind of, it's really frustrating. I want to see Italy do well, because I want rugby to do well. I think for that to happen, we need more than just the traditional nations doing well in rugby. And Italy are kind of at the forefront of that. Like, the likes of themselves and Japan are the kind of teams, and Argentina as well, that you really want to see doing well. So it's really frustrating when you can see that they're so close to something special. But hopefully they will get there. But back to the game. Italy then, they get pinged from the restart for offside from a knocked on kick. So Owen Williams then decides to go for the post. He misses it to the left, so we're still at 15-3. Then we have some good kicking from Italy, actually gets them into some Welsh territory, but they get pinged for crossing, and Wales are able to clear. Just, not the best timing on some of the runs, the dummy runs. And I saw that a bit today, where they're still not quite there with the dummy runners. I think once they go through like a set move where everyone knows that their ball is going, is fine. When they're playing it right up close to the line, though, there seems to be a little bit of people kind of getting in each other's way as well, and kind of causing the trouble there. But still positive from them that they're trying stuff out. But at this stage, as I said, they get pinged, Wales are able to clear, and it feels like the next score is important right now, because, Italy, they're trying to get back into the game, but if Wales score, you really fear for them. Wales, they kick up the line, they go to the maul, they're making meters. Italy get pinged for bringing it down illegally. Wales then go to the corner again, go to the maul again, they're making good meters again. Italy's maul defense, like, it hasn't improved really since they had that trouble against England. And it's obviously something it's hard to fix in a couple of weeks, but it's something that they need to work on, because it's really hard as a team when the opposition know that there's, if everything else fails, they can go to the maul. I think they're probably going to score against you. And so Wales go again with the maul from another line out. Lorenzo Canone brings it down. He's right there underneath it. Just as Wales are about to go over the line, he gets a yellow card. It's a penalty try. We're at 22-3. And yeah, just thinking, Italy looked like they were going to get themselves into the game, and now it's a long way back. From the restart then, Rhys Webb kicks sublime 50-22. Wales looking complete control at this stage. Italy looking a bit lost. Wales spread it as the maul is halted. This time Italy do actually do well to halt the maul. Nicotera gets over the ball. He wins a penalty. Bit of relief for them. Italy go up the line. They set up the maul. This time it's them making progress from the maul, so that's good to see. Ken Owens get pinged for not rolling away. He rolled into the line. rather than rolling to the side. So it's penalty to Italy and a chance for them to go to the corner. Wales then, they're getting pinged at them all. Italy, they're playing with advantage, but they knocked the ball on. So back for a penalty. It was Beard had hands on the ground. So they go back into the corner. They're pounding away to the line. They have another penalty advantage. They then cross kick with the advantage. Bruno takes Williams out in the air. It's deemed as foul play, which means that the original penalty then is kind of scrubbed out because foul play trumps it. Wales get the ball off the field, and we're 22-3 at half time. You can see that Italy are a bit aggrieved by the decision there. It was the correct decision because it was foul play, but still, felt like that was when they needed to score to give themselves something to build on the second half. Start the second half then, Italy are on the attack. Menoncello makes a great burst up the middle. They then work it deep into the Welsh 22. Have some quick offload from the deck from Lamero. Allen chips it over the onrushing defence. Then Negri gets to it first. He scores next to the post. It's converted 22-10, feeling the comeback is on. Then Italy, they break again through Allen, going up the wing, but then like a pass goes into touch. But you can see the crowd now are getting into the game. They're in full voice. There were a lot of Welsh in the crowd as well, but it seemed like a great atmosphere there at the Stadio Olimpico. Bruno then gets himself a yellow card for offend on Wyn Jones, catches him in the neck with his forearm. It could have been a red because it was basically a direct hit to the neck, but it seemed like the ref wanted to give a yellow. So first of all, he starts out by saying that I think it hit him in the chest and then travelled up to his neck, which wasn't true. TMO, points that out to him. So then he's kind of like saying, well, that moves it up to red, but you can see that he's unsure. One of the assistants then suggests to him, well, was it a push away or was it a strike? Because if it's a strike, then it's a red, but if not, you could go with a yellow. So that kind of gives him a bit of an out because you could see that he didn't want to be someone who was going to give a red. I feel like that he felt maybe pressure not to ruin the game, so he gives the yellow. Again, I think, as I said, it could have been a red, but you can argue either way. I think Italy, though, they're down to 14. Just after as well, they just got back to 15 from the yellow card that got towards the end of the first half. Wales now, they're pinning Italy in their own half. Rhys Webb, he snipes from a ruck, gets in behind them, and then he finds Faletau, who goes over for the try bonus point. That's converted as 29-10, and it really is a long way back for Italy at this stage. Wales are looking to more likely to score more points from there on as well. They go over the top from a line out to get Rhys Sammet through a hole, but then it's Wales' turn to pass straight into touch. But Wales at this stage are finding a lot of space in that Italian defence. Italy finding it hard to get their hands on the ball. But then Italy do start to kind of, find a little bit of joy. They start working their way back into the game. They're kicking a bit more and they're getting a bit of joy from that as well. Unfortunately, Menoncello hobbles off for them. Hopefully it's not the end of his Six Nations because he had a decent game. He's had a really good Six Nations. Wales then, they destroy Italy in the scrum. We have a bit of handbags. Wales missed touch from the penalty. Lee Williams and Fusco then collide in the air. Lamoureux seems very frustrated as he talks to the referee, thinking it was a pen to them, probably thinking back to that incident in the first half between, I think it was Williams and Bruno, right? Williams has to go off after that knock there as well. So maybe Lamoureux thinking they're not kind of getting, the benefit of the decisions in the game. You can see that Italy really are frustrated, but I think a lot of the frustration is about their own performance. But then that kind of sometimes spills over to, the referees sometimes can be an easy target when that happens. Italy, though, they break from the scrum. Fusco goes through a massive hole, can't quite find support, so it comes back to kick it through, and it's a 5-meter liner to Wales on their own line. And again, it's what I talked about before, is that, when Italy are making these breaks, there just doesn't seem to be the support there. Like it's almost like the players don't expect the break to happen, so they're caught kind of on their heels almost when they're trying to get in support. So they're like just a couple of meters behind where they should be to give the guy a pass off that maybe is going to lead to a try. But if they work on that, I think they are going to be scoring tries from those breaks in the not too distant future. Mason Grady then gets pinged for in at the side of a ruck. He then has a scuffle with Fusco. Grady is a massive guy, but it was funny to see Fusco tossing him about in their little scuffle that they had. Italy from the penalty, then the kick to the corner. Jenkins gets pinged for collapsing the maul. They go back to the corner after the penalty again, but then Tipperick nicks the line out, but the maul is actually unplayable. Like Wales set up the maul, so Italy get the scrum. Italy then strike off the scrum. Some good dummy runners this time. Bruno attacks the line and he gets Brex over to score. It's converted for 29-17 with just over 10 to go. Italy then, right after the restart, again, they try to play it out of their own 22, but they knock on. It's a scrum to Wales in a great position. Faletau, though, he knocks on at the back of the scrum, and it's a bit of a let-off for Italy because they almost gifted them a score straight back after scoring themselves. Then Italy, they go up the line. They set up a line out. They have a great set move off the line out to go over the top to a forward who then does one of these kind of almost volleyball passes down to someone coming through a hole. So they make some great meters there from that one, and they get just outside to 22. Italy, you feel like at this stage they're finding space almost everywhere in this Welsh defence now. Giuliani and Yakizi both with great runs for them, making great meters and committing defenders as well. Wales get pinged for a neck roll as they're kind of panicking a little bit in defence. Italy left for the scrum 10 metres out. Then Scott Baldwin, who's just come onto the field to replace Ken Owens, he's got some kind of knock. He has to go off. So Owens comes back on for this crucial scrum. Italy, they attack off the scrum, but they knock on in the shadow of the post. Maybe a little trying to be a little too intricate there. Wales then, as I said, they're looking shaky, and if only Italy could find their own composure and just play some simple rugby, you think they're going to score. But then Wales win a penalty from the scrum, and it feels like that really was a chance missed for them. It's too far for them to come back from there. Wales then finally they get the ball off the field, and final score is 29-17. I lost it there for a second. I knew I had it written somewhere. Now, Let's have a look at some of the stats from the game. Possession, 55-45 to Italy. Territory, 51-49 to Italy. Clean breaks, 10 for Italy, 4 for Wales. As I said, Italy, they were finding the gaps, they were finding the space. Just felt like they didn't have, when they got into position, at times it was the composure, just to trust their skills and, give the correct pass. And other times it's the fact that they just didn't have the support runners there to be able to make the most of those breaks. Defenders beaten 35-13. Again, though, with Italy, a lot of those defenders, they're beating it like in their own 22 or their own half. Get the ball into the opposition half and beat the defenders there, and then suddenly the try line is there for you to go over. Meters run, 524 for Italy, 343 for Wales. Passes, 182 for Italy, 85 for Wales. You can just see Italy, that they're way more than double the number of passes. Penalties, though, 13 for Italy, 14 for Wales. There were a lot of penalties in this game. We did see a lot of the referee having to get involved in stuff. But yeah, you can see a lot of those stats are in favour of Italy, but just a lot of it was happening in the wrong parts of the field, lack of composure, mistakes at the wrong time. But we'll have more stats we'll have a dedicated video for the stats from the whole round early in the week. In terms of the teams then, Wales, they're finally showing something in this year's Six Nations. It wasn't amazing from them, but a win's a win, and they're a team who are progressing. So they're going to be happy enough just to get that and have something that, they can use now as a launch pad maybe to improve, against, I think a decent performance against France would be enough for them, and then go into the World Cup warm-ups from there. For Italy, they look very disappointed with the result at the end, and I think that's a good sign from them. It's a sign of progress, because just a couple of seasons ago, people would have been talking about, it was a good performance from Italy. If things had gone their way, they might have been able to nick a win, etc., etc. But I think there's a change in the mindset now from the Italian players, and probably I think from the rugby public as well, in terms of the expectations for this Italy team, that being plucky losers is no longer acceptable for them.